Welcome back, dear viewers, to the Mind My Mind talk show, which is an initiative to spread awareness about the right approaches and bring to you access to the right professionals. Today, we have yet another very versatile personality with us, Dr. Jaya Sukul, who is a clinical psychologist and, of course, has done a lot of other things. Let me just give you a quick brief about her. She runs a wellness center, Headspace Healing, which is a psychological wellness center in Noida and, of course, spread across Delhi NCR. She's been doing a lot of work for the past 10, 12 years now. She's also a columnist with Times of India and Hindustan Times. As an alumni from AIIMS, she's also an appointed jail counselor with the UP Dasta Central Jail. And what more, she also is the founder of one of the first clinical psychology initiatives for psychometric testing, which is ProGarten. So I think a very, very interesting profile and a very interesting person to hear some jewels of information from. Welcome, Dr. Jaya. Pleasure to have you here today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really am on board with the initiative My Mind is bringing for everybody. I hope mental health accessibility becomes better with you guys and the current initiative.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jaya. It's a pleasure, of course, to have you on board and over here today to reach out to our viewers and share with them your experience, which will help people understand. You know, it's while we all talk about mental health, there are very few people who really bother taking action to it. I think the statistics say it all. We reach out to the doctors, Absolutely. But only when it is too late, right? We tend to miss out the initial years which would have helped us heal better and quicker.
Yeah. I always say focus on mental wellness rather than waiting for the illness.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So Dr. Jaya, help us all understand, what is counseling?
I tell this to a lot of kids, and I think it's the best way to describe what is counseling. That it's not consoling. The most known myths or perceptions about counseling is that your therapist will tell you, oh, everything will be all right. They will tell you that you should not feel a certain way or you should feel a certain way. Whereas counseling is about teaching management of thoughts and management of behavior. So it's not telling someone that you shouldn't feel, think, or act like this, but it's rather teaching one how to act, feel, or think that is not going to be an impairment for their lives. So it's a learning curve, it's a teaching opportunity and not a consoling activity. In Hindi we say समझाना नहीं है, सिखाना है. तो समझाने का काम नहीं होता, समझाने का काम घर वालों का होता है. When you seek professional help, it is to learn how to feel, think, and behave better.
बहुत ही beautifully आपने समझाया. Learn to manage your thoughts and emotions because everything starts in the mind. Excellent.
Absolutely.
So this is also known as talk therapy, right?
Yes, we would talk therapy will encompass several other modalities. For example, behavior, cognitive structuring, all of these are conveyed through talk modality. That is why they would come under talk therapy, because the modality is through talking and maybe worksheets, etc. So yes, this is also talk therapy in a lot of ways.
Excellent. So, Dr. Jaya, ये कैसे पता चलता है कि किसको काउंसलिंग की जरूरत है?
बहुत simple, and there's a very simple rule. If you're being anxious, that doesn't mean that you need therapy or you need treatment. But if that anxiety at any level is causing any level of impairment in your everyday life, it's not letting you live or be in the life that you want to live. It's not helping you actualize your potential. It's coming in the way of your daily functioning. Then you need treatment. Then you need an intervention, I would say. And therapy in today's time and age, it's not only about correction. A lot of people come to us with the hope of improvement. They are not, diagnosable, or they are not balanced because of the way that they're thinking. So with them, we use the modality of improvement thoughts, whereas when there is a diagnosable illness that is present, then we talk about correction. So both people who require improvement and correction and people who have impairment, no level of severity is needed, but they think that they could be doing better, they are the ones who could seek out help from any mental health professional.
I think ये बहुत ही आपने जरूरी बात कही, जो कि हम बहुत आराम से भूल जाते हैं। सब ये सोचते हैं कि साइकोलॉजिस्ट के पास तब जाना है जब कोई हमें पागल समझे, जबकि एक्चुअली इट इज नथिंग लाइक दैट. इट इज बोथ फ्रॉम इम्प्रूवमेंट एज वेल एज टू सेल्फ डेवलप टू थेरेपी. सो दोनों एस्पेक्ट्स जो हैं ये हम
Actually, and what people forget that therapy is not about intellectual impairment. It is about emotional impairment most of the time. हम आएगा कोई पेशेंट आएगा अपने बच्चे को लेकर आएगा, बहुत अच्छे, हाँ, it's temporary, and ऐसे कहें कि अरे इसके तो मार्क्स बहुत अच्छे आते हैं फिर भी इससे घबराहट होती है. There's nothing to do. Intellectual impairment and emotional completely two domains, and therapy would help greatly in emotional impairment and emotional impairment. And that is something that one has to realize, and it happens irrespective of their intelligence levels.
Absolutely. So, when should anyone go for therapy or counseling?
Whenever they are ready to change. Whenever they are ready to change. I mean, you could have the greatest of the illness. ऐसा होता है, बहुत लोग हैं जिनको impairment है, जिनको families को पता है, सबको पता है that they need help, but patient ही होता. But जिस दिन patient ready हो जाए, that is the perfect day that, okay, I want to change, I want to stop suffering, or I want to stop hurting, could be anything. The day that the will is born, even in the slightest manner, that's the day.
So self-acceptance एक बहुत ही जरूरी चीज है. Till the time we are not self-accepting that I need improvement or I need to solve a problem, and a clinical psychologist can help us resolve that, till that time therapy will not help. Nothing will help for that matter, because we're not ready to change.
Nothing helps. Absolutely.
So Dr. Jaya, tell me, when did you start ProGarden psychometric assessments का जो आपका initiative है, ये आपने कब start किया?
So ProGarden, we started back in 2018 in an offline modality. We were mostly doing schools and physical spaces we were occupying. Then in 2019, also we were functioning in an offline modality, and then the pandemic hit us as it hit all of the whole world, and that's when we decided that we're going to take ProGarden. The accessibility should not be restricted because of a lack of physical space that is available, or a lack of physical touch that is available in psychometric services, and it should be available online at any part of the world at any point of the day. It should be available. So I would say the true birth of ProGarden happens 2020 onwards, where we took everything online. We invested a lot of time and energy into creating the online platform. As you're aware, psychometric emancipation year is 2020, and since then we've been going at it.
Excellent. So किस type के psychometric assessments? Yes, but everything grows big and for a reason. So किस type के psychometric testing are available, and how do they help? I mean, they can be put in different domains, but broadly it will help to understand if everybody knows.
See, ProGarden's main agenda is to make career selection more scientific. The idea here is that the clinical tools that we have been using in diagnosis is something that can be very well used in identifying of strengths as well. And when you look at the older population, you will realize that a majority of mental health patients are extremely dissatisfied in their professional domain. And that dissatisfaction comes up from the space कि भाई मुझे लगा engineering एक safe career है, मम्मी पापा को लगा doctor बन जाते हैं, but the true purpose has not been actualized because it was never identified. So here the identification is not only of your interest, but of your interest, your aptitude, your emotional quotient, your personality, your work leadership orientation, that will help you give a very solidified career choice where there will be success, money, and happiness. I would, gone are the days where we'd say कि जितना ज़्यादा struggle करेंगे उतना ज़्यादा success मिलेगा. आज की date में इतना competition है, तो अगर हम identify कर सकते हैं कि where we are going to be the best and pursue that, and we'll have a very goal-oriented vision, get exposure itself, we will be able to perform better in that field as compared to something that might be conventionally safe or conventionally something of our interest. So we are cross-matching everything that encompasses a psychological human being, the psychology of a human being, and help in career selection.
So is this only for careers?
The Pro-Garden initiative is mainly looking at this, but to identify clinical disorders through the career mapping itself. So when a child comes to us for career counseling, if there are clinical concerns that are present, we're able to identify and educate the parent and bridge the gap and eventually start therapy or plan an event, for example, SLD, ADHD, personality dysfunctions that we're able to identify, we're also able to identify as a byproduct of the career mapping itself.
And अगर बचपन में अगर किसी बच्चे को बोला जाए जब when she is about 9-10 years old that there are some issues that the child has. I know you are an expert in dealing with psychosomatic illnesses, and we will talk about it at some point, but maybe not today. But how do you also look at identifying those developmental concerns, and if there is a correction required over there?
Absolutely.
Okay. So you are dealing with children?
Does not. We are a huge team. We're dealing with children, adults, geriatric psychology, oncology, all sorts of patients. When you're talking about the developmental disorders or presence of learning disabilities, ADHD, behavioral disorders, etc., then we do a comprehensive physical meet psychometric analysis as compared to the online one, because I feel that the psychological human touch is very much required in cases like those, because the children need to be clinically evaluated and seen to make a we are deciding something, we're labeling them in a way for the rest of their life. And I wouldn't do that in a bridge between the both kind of patients that we want to work with.
I think ये बहुत ही सही बात कही, because कभी भी कोई developmental disorder अगर diagnose किया जाए तो वो बच्चा life के लिए label हो जाता है. Of course, it does not mean that वो बच्चा ठीक नहीं हो सकता, because there are coping skills that get built around, and today we know a lot of people.
I feel diagnosis is so important, because unless we're not able to diagnose or label in a healthy way, we are not able to get the direction to the treatment as well.
Absolutely. Very beautifully put. Label in a healthy way. I think that's a very important point for everyone, all of us, to understand very clearly. Below 16 and the career is the least of the concerns right now, then physical meeting is what is advised. Great. I think a very beautiful takeaway: healthy direction, healthy diagnosis, so that a right direction can be chosen to ensure that a child does well in career going forward. Absolutely. Career is 70% of our lives, right? So we can't choose not to have the right flow. Absolutely. And it's also interconnected, so deeply interconnected. What we are as personalities is what we bring to our career, and therefore choosing the right career and ensuring we have the right skill set, not only in terms of कि मुझे suppose I want to choose a career in IT, कि मुझे coding करना आता है कि नहीं, but that mindset, the emotional and cognitive capability is very, very important for all of that. Absolutely. Rightly put. The emotional and cognitive capability, that's to describe it. Thank you, Dr. Jaya. I think we need to come back again and have a longer discussion on psychosomatic illnesses and how the right diagnosis for these can be helpful in helping people manage better. But I think today you have shared some very, very important information, which I'm sure the users will find it, the viewers will find it useful, hopefully. So, dear viewers, thank you so much for listening to us. Please do like and share our video, and do feel free to reach out. Thank you, Dr. Jaya. It was a pleasure having you here today, and look forward to connecting soon again. Thank you.
Thank you. It is a privilege. Thank you.